Hello, I am Riley Thee. Thank you for joining me today for this presentation. I'm going to be presenting to you CCR number 3 as I answer the question, how did your production skills develop throughout this project? In this presentation, I'm going to be going over a lot of things, so I just want to give you a quick overview. First, I'm going to talk about deciding genre and how that process took place and how it really helped develop my skills. I'm going to continue on to deciding the content in which our film was going to be made up of. Then I'm going to continue with research, and then I'm going to continue on creating my storyboard and how it really impacted just everything to come. And then I'm going to continue on with the filming process, and then continue and finalize with putting it all together. So let's begin. First off is deciding genre. When me and my group were deciding the genre for our film Old Friends, first of all, our film was not called Old Friends. We had no idea what we were going to name it, which was also just a whole nother stepping stone for us, was just kind of finding a name that incorporated our genre and everything in which we were trying to go for, with like an accurate representation of our film. But deciding genre, we were kind of stuck. We didn't know what we wanted to do or what we wanted to include. We knew we wanted some sort of horror film. We just didn't know how we were going to do that. Eventually, I brought up the idea of a psychological thriller and combined with a ghost story, and that's when it really kind of sparked off. And this whole deciding genre really helped to build up my collaboration skills, and how I can use collaboration to increase my production and how that can help to kind of just make this film so much better. We didn't realize how much including so many genres. We included murder mystery as well as a comedic horror just to kind of add kind of more depth to our film. And we didn't realize how important this was going to be, especially when we were going to be doing this film in general, which we'll find out later how big of a role this really played. Let's continue on to just deciding the content. As you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, here's some photos from the film, some still shots taken directly from the film. Deciding content was a major thing. Now that we have laid down kind of the genres in which we are going to make our film based on, we had to really find out how we're going to use these conventions from each genre within our film, which deciding the content also helped build up my collaboration skills a lot and just made me a better producer so much as a whole, and just develop my production skills immensely because it helped me use my peers' ideas and my ideas and really combine them all together to incorporate all of the genres and make it all work in the setting that we had provided. And it just became so much better, and my production skills were just amplified by mass amounts because I was able to collaborate with my peers and my group mates to create this film that captured everything we really wanted it to capture. Continuing on to the research. Research was a major part in my film process as it helped me to really just understand what goes on. For example, when we were researching each genre and the conventions, this is where it becomes really important, having all these genres and the conventions. It helped develop my production skills so much because I was able to understand the conventions of genres, just like how a psychological thriller has certain conventions, and so does a ghost story, and they all differ so much. And this helped me because I was able to learn how to properly incorporate all of these separate conventions and put them into a film to make this amazing final product. I was also able to look at other films that were similar to mine and build off of them and learn how I could really incorporate their ideas and twist them to make my own film that was so unique and completely just my own. Continuing on to creating a storyboard. This was such a pivotal moment, which my group completely shrugged off and did not think was going to be as important as it was. Originally, we kind of just created the storyboard for like a grade, but later on we realized how important a storyboard is to the production process, as it helps so much, and it cut down our filming time from what we thought was going to be like 5-6 hours to like 2 hours. simply because we had a storyboard which laid out the outline for our entire film, which we followed it so close, line by line, word for word, dialogue for dialogue, lighting for lighting, camera angle for camera angle. Everything was just so laid out and so perfectly well done. It just made it so much easier, and we didn't realize how much a storyboard was going to help out. We just thought we were kind of going to wing it once we got to the filming stage, but once we whipped out that storyboard, everything went so smoothly, and we got this project done so fast and efficiently, and it was just everything we wanted it to be, and we didn't even have to do any retakes, no filming, extra filming. Of course, there were some scenes where we laughed a little bit and had to shrug that off and just delete and redo, but we didn't have to like get a second day to refilm and do some more, which was so amazing because we have such busy schedules. And this just helped my production skills because I was able to see how important it is to have a clear outline and how much it can make your filming just flow so much better by having every mise-en-scène and everything set out. It helped me to really understand the mise-en-scène and everything within the film as well. Next to the actual filming process, now that we've had our storyboard and we're actually getting to the filming part, let's talk about camera angles. Before I was filming, I didn't really understand the effective camera angles on the audience, and after and during the filming process, this helped my production skills and helped me grow as a producer because I was able to understand the effective camera angles on the audience. For example, when we would use high angles to make Marco look less of a character and low angles to make me look more powerful, and like just all of these camera angles and how they can affect the audience. Even though it's so subtle, it still matters. Just like how the mise-en-scène can be so subtle, just like the eerie lighting and like the flashing lights, how they have such a major impact. And that helped me so much grow as a producer because just again with the mise-en-scène, it helped me to understand how these little tiny changes can make such a large impact on my audience to really develop my theme further. Next is putting it all together in just the combination of scenes. All of this just was like help my production skills through editing, especially. It's just editing and sound in relation to the scene. I learned what flows and how to make things work and just everything like that. Thank you so much for joining me today at this presentation. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for listening.